Welcome back to Albion Online 0 to Hero. In the last episode we managed to get an 8.4 drop out of our first chest on the account. And we also managed to reach tier 8 Reaver. We have enough specs to take on some fights, so in this episode we'll be going to the Mists. We'll be taking some large IP difference fights, so let's see how we can handle those. Our first fight is a 400 difference IP fight against a one-handed dagger. The warbow build I'm currently using completely counters the one-handed dagger build, so as soon as I see this guy, I hope I can fight him. However, I have to get him to commit to the fight, otherwise he can probably just run away from me. This fight is all about spacing. If he gets to be close to me for a few seconds, I'm dead. To begin the fight I had to use my boots, and he knows that I do not have them, so he's about to engage on me. I have to use my invisibility, and I know that he will use his cowl to remove it, so I also have to use my bop. At this point I successfully countered one of his engages. He cannot do anything while his mobility is on cooldown, so I try to damage him as much as possible during this time. However, the fight is not won yet. I anticipate his shadow edge and dodge it. If he managed to catch me with his shadow edge, I might have lost the fight. However, I can successfully counter his second engage, and after that the fight is won. In this clip I find this 8.1 dagger pair. Again, this is a melee build that I completely counter with my build, so I know I can just dismount ahead of him and start poking. When inspecting him, I also noticed that he has minor boots. Since I do not have any purges, this means that I will most likely not be able to kill him. However, he certainly also cannot kill me, and I can bully him off of the wisp and take it and deposit it myself. During the fight I managed to dodge both of his mage cowls, so at this point I have a very big advantage and I can just chase him down and force him to use his minor boots to escape. As he's escaping, I try to put 3 poison stacks on him to maybe kill him, but my IP is too low and the damage is not enough. However, at least this gives me enough time to run and deposit the wisp. In this clip we're fighting against a Bloodletter. As opposed to the other daggers, the Bloodletter has one extra mobility skill, which will make this fight very hard to win. I also forced the engage at the beginning by using my sprint, so I'm at a disadvantage starting this fight off. As soon as the fight begins, he uses his execute to close the gap on me, and I am forced to use my invisibility. I try to kite him as much as possible. As he closes the gap on me, my only hope here is that he misses his execute, so I do my best to try and dodge it. After he uses his execute, he heavily commits to me, so I am able to get quite a good amount of damage off on him. As he closes the gap one last time, I use my invisibility and wait for the damage to stack up to hopefully be able to kill him through his undead cape using my E and my cowl ability. I try to dodge his execute, but he catches me with the shadow edge and manages to kill me through his undead cape. This is some unfortunate timing for this dagger pair. Here we have a nice encounter where this 8.1 battle axe offered to protect me. I was initially skeptical, so all throughout this encounter I kept my distance away from him. Yes, I realize grazie is Italian and gracias is Spanish, but I barely know how to speak either, so I just replied in the first word that came to mind. I'm sorry to both my Italian and Spanish viewers. At this point I decided to take a break from the mist and just go out in a 4.1 battle axe set and have some fun. Here this guy wanted to duel me, so I just dismounted him and we started brawling. This fight was very fun. A second pair of dual swords dismounts and joins the fight, so it's now a 1v1v1. At some point I did decide to buy 7 days of premium since there was an offer in the shop. After buying premium, I go back to the mist to take advantage of it, and I try to secure some objectives like wisps, chests and camps. Being confident can often get you a free chest, as many people will not want to dismount if there are lots of people hovering around, especially if they're in more expensive gear. I recommend clearing these camps since they give pretty good fame and might rewards, especially if you're not in a common mist. This Bear Paws player keeps trying to contest this chest, but he's too scared to fight, so as soon as I engage on him he starts running away. I do not manage to catch up to him, he eventually does get the mount. However, as I opened the chest I saw that it was worth 500k, so I'm not too disappointed. Bear Paws really likes playing with fire, so I try once again to dismount him. However, the exit is very close and again he manages to get away. If the exit wasn't there, I probably could have caught up to him since I just dismounted him. Here I see this tier 8 spear trying to take on an upgraded mob, and I just hover around to see what he does. I swear this player is not a paid actor. I dismount myself using the damage of the mob and just execute him. After that dubious encounter, we decide to go to the Avalonian roads. If you did not believe me that the last guy was not a paid actor, then you certainly will not believe me that these two guys are also not paid actors. Let's see what happens. As you can see, they have about 400 more IP than me, and there's two of them. If they decided to turn on me at any point, I would not be able to win this fight and have to start running away. However, they seem afraid to take the fight and keep running away. Obviously, they're quite new players, but seeing how juicy they are, I take the opportunity to run them both down. As they're running away, I try to keep them both in combat by alternating my poison arrow between the Kingmaker and the Longbow, and also proccing my Thetford cape every now and then. They eventually do decide to turn on me, and as you can see their damage is huge. Just the Longbow took almost half of my HP using a single E spell. However, the Kingmaker is already very low, and I kite his Hylian jacket and finish him off. The Longbow heavily outdamages me in an auto-attack fight, so I have to disengage, and I get away just in time. At this point, he cannot catch up to me since I used sprint, and the fight is basically over. However, as I turn back to him, he decides to dismount on me. I manage to loot both of their bodies just in time as the first guy is coming back. I make a quick getaway and go bank since I have almost 5 million silver on me. After banking, I run back to the same Avalonian road zone to see if I can find them again. Indeed, here they are trying to clear a mob camp. However, this time it isn't as easy since they have a healer and there's also 3 of them. It is impossible for me to win the fight against a healer, so I have to do my best to escape. As the third player runs ahead of me to try and cut me off, I manage to juke them in the opposite direction. We end this episode with almost 10 million in loot. This was all gotten throughout the mists and the roads of Avalon. Thanks everyone for the massive support on the first video. If you would like to see more and if you enjoyed this video as well, please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe as it does help a lot. See you in the next one.